Hello and welcome to Face to Face on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest today on Face to Face is the Director of Elections of the governing New Patriotic Party. The party is preparing to go to the polls, and he is part of the critical committee that is dealing with this particular election. It focuses only on the so-called orphan constituencies, and these are constituencies where the NPP does not have sitting members of parliament. That election is coming up this weekend, so we're trying to touch base with him to see how the party is preparing towards that. Plus, the main election of the party in January, where it is going to elect candidates in constituencies where it has sitting members of parliament. So Evans Nimako is my guest. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu, and you're welcome. Thank you for joining us on Face to Face on Citi TV. Let's talk about the governing New Patriotic Party. Now, lots of issues have been happening in the past few weeks in the party. We'll talk about them, but there's a major one coming up. The party has gone to elect national executives, has elected a flag bearer, which is a very crucial one. And now the job is to look for parliamentary candidates for all the 275 constituencies ahead of election 2024. In constituencies where the party has sitting MPs, the decision will be taken later, or the election will be happening later. But where the party has no sitting MPs, it has started rolling out the process to do that particular election, and it's coming up this weekend. The man in charge of elections and research for the NPP at the Directorate is Evans Nimako, and he's joining me on Face to Face. Hello, how are you?
His grace has been sufficient on me.
I hope everything is well. Things are hard. Are you also feeling it? Or we are the only ones feeling it?
Well, I have difficulty to appreciate what you mean by things are hard. Is it talking to me or commuting from your home to your office?
Yes, that one.
It shall be well.
You sure?
Yes.
Petrol is expensive. Life is hard, and Christmas is coming. People are saying that, Charlie, things, they see anything.
Well,
or things will change before December.
Definitely, things will change, and it is going to be better.
Okay, we pray so. We pray that things get better. It is possible.
Definitely possible.
It is possible.
And it is going to happen.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about your internal elections. You've successfully elected a flag bearer. There's issues that have come up. After that, we'll talk about them later in the program. But let's talk about what your grand plan now is to find parliamentary candidates. What is the party's plan?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think the conversation now has to do with the party's National Executive Committee directive to constituencies where we do not have sitting members of parliament to select or elect candidates. And so after the National Executive Committee gave the directive, the General Secretary communicated to the party, and we began the process somewhere in July, where we opened nomination on the 11th, and nomination closed on August 10. Immediately after the closure of the nomination, in some constituencies out of the 139, as I'll put it, we do not have sitting members of parliament, because we had only sole candidates. Per the party's guidelines, we had to conduct what we call the Constituency Annual Delegate Conference for these candidates to be acclaimed by the constituents. And it is clear in our party's constitution, where at the close of party's nomination, there are sole candidates, which is in conformity with the Political Parties Act guidelines for conducting elections. These people will have to be acclaimed. And so that was done. And so that was for the 17 constituencies out of the 130.
So those ones, the people went unopposed?
At the close of the nomination, they were the sole candidates.
Okay.
Then later...
And these are orphan constituencies?
These are orphan constituencies.
Okay.
The nomination opened first was for the orphan constituencies. directives have been given that post this we will do opening of nomination for where we have certain members of parliament. So speaking to where we do not have certain members of parliament, I'm saying that there are a total of 139.
I'm surprised you said 139.
It's 139 because officially we have 275. For us as New Patriotic Party, we do not have candidates or members of parliament in 137 constituencies plus one.
Yes.
Yes.
So 138.
138. And then we are a political party. There is the possibility of creation of a constituency in one constituency. And so the party is taking steps to select or elect candidates. So in event for SAL or Guan, in event that it passes through the legislation, then we will have a candidate.
Okay.
So that's why I'm putting it at 139. So at the closure of it, we've been able to do acclamation in 20 constituencies.
20?
20.
That's a lot.
Yes, I mean, that's New Patriotic Party.
No, it means that there's no competition happening in your party.
It's less than, if you have 139 and you do acclamation in 20, I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it tells you that for these constituencies, the party has been able to establish, to a large extent, some level of consultation that takes away the contestation that others will see.
It's not as if you decided to remove competition and allow the people to go unopposed.
Not at all. We open nomination in all these constituencies. And so for the remaining, 6 other constituencies were put on hold, including Fomena, to allow for further consultations. And so we are now left with 113 constituencies that the party is going to go into Saturday's elections. In these 113 constituencies...
Before you go to the 113, so the places where you did the acclamation, do you have some of them on top of your head that you can mention?
I can mention to you Pusiga. I can mention
That's Upper East.
Nadole, Kaleo.
Upper West.
Upper West. I can mention to you Asin North, we didn't do one. Dressage, Dumase in Ashanti region, we didn't do one. And so these are...
So Asin North, where you have Jachi Kwesin, you're maintaining the one you used for the by-election?
He has been acclaimed by the constituency.
Has been acclaimed. There was no challenge.
And if the party...
But there was a challenge. There was an internal challenge when you were going for the by-election.
Yeah, but that was for the by-election.
But the person did not come back.
Yes, post-by-election, the constituency, including polling station executives, electoral coordinators, constituency executives, and the regional party, or national party, took the decision with acceptance of all stakeholders. And that's what I'm saying. These are acclamations.
So what I want to know is that, did the party say, after Asin North, we don't want anybody to contest, and so let this guy go because we recently fielded him. He did well, but he didn't win, so let's field him again. Was that what happened, or you genuinely opened the process and after the specific number of days, only one person returned their forms and that person is the one, incidentally, the one who contested for you in the by-election? What happened?
There was a proposal from the constituency that includes all polling station executives in Asin North, electoral coordinators, constituency executives, supported by the regional party. Proposals were submitted to the National Executive Committee. So the decision came from the National Executive Committee, which was the result of the decision of the party.
And the proposal from the party at the grassroots was that we want this guy to go unopposed.
Yes, that's why it is among the constituencies that the party has conducted acclamation.
Are you sure that's not going to come back to bite you? There may be someone who wanted to contest. That person will be aggrieved. That person would, 1, either not join the campaign trail, or 2, would go campaign against you, or 3, defect to the MDC, or worse, become an independent candidate. Have you considered all these things?
All these opinions could come up. But as I said, the party opened nomination in July, and nomination closed in August. And so I'm saying that these proposals came from the party in the constituency. They are the party leadership. And when they have submitted...
They can always not get it right.
When they have submitted their decision to the party National Executive Committee through the regional party, who then can say no to it. So it's not an issue of the party imposing a candidate or not opening the nomination to allow for prospective candidates who are party members to participate in this exercise.
So you have not had petitions or counter petitions from persons in the constituency who want to run, who said to you that, listen, this is what the party has said to you, but we here think that it is wrong. I want to run. Allow me to run. You do not have something like that?
There's nothing like that on my desk.
Okay.
The General Secretary never reported to NEC that there has been any.
Okay.
And so as we speak, the Asin North is one of the 20 constituencies that the party has conducted acclamation.
All right. So proceed with the other explanation you were going to give.
Okay, so flowing from all that is that come Saturday, in these 113 constituencies, we are going to have the constituency delegate conference, which will elect for us our candidates in these constituencies. Conference at the constituency level is attended by all polling station executives in the constituency, all electoral area coordinators, the constituency executives. The Council of Elders will nominate 5 people from among themselves. The patrons will also nominate 5 people. And where in these constituencies there are foundation members who sign the party's registration form to the Electoral Commission, such individuals will be part of the delegates for the constituency conference. And so, as we speak, if you put all together the 113 constituencies, you are looking at delegate numbers running into 815,619, all put together. And because some constituencies are larger in terms of spread, larger in terms of polling stations, the numbers varies. We've had extensive conversation with the Electoral Commission and the Ghana Police Service. And so at the constituency level, the polling stations that we use to conduct the presidential primaries will be the same polling station that the constituency will use.
So there's one polling station per constituency?
One per constituency. There are few of these constituencies that have come up with some proposals that we reconsider these polling stations. And at each constituency, we have what we call the Constituency Parliamentary Elections Committee, which is chaired by the chairperson of the Council of Elders. It has the chairman of the constituency as a member. It has the secretary of the constituency, who is the secretary to the Constituency Parliamentary Elections Committee. You have an elderly woman in the constituency as a member, and the research and elections officer of the constituency as a member to coordinate the conduct of the constituency delegate conference. And what they are expected to do is to ensure that the venue is well taken care of. The liaise with the Electoral Commission said that the venue will be set up on election day. The directive from the General Secretary's office is that it is a working exercise. Said that it's not going to be a certain arrangement where aspirants will give speeches or offer campaign messages.
So it's going to look like the National Election Day.
National Election Day.
You just come and vote and go.
Same as we did for the presidential. You come in, you go through the process. All candidates have been given copies of the register. There will be a copy at the center. The EC has been given copy. And so all those who are supposed to be delegates, i.e. officers of the party in the constituency, are eligible delegates to these conferences.
What time is the voting period?
It is planned and directed that voting will start 7 a.m. and then closes at 2 p.m. However, if after 2 p.m. there are people in the queue, the EC knows how this is done. Okay. They will be allowed to participate.
When voting is done, where do you do collation and declaration?
There's one center. So that center will see to the counting of the numbers per aspirant and declaration. So there will be no collation at any other place apart from where
at the
election
center
takes place.
And that's where the EC will make the declaration.
That's where the EC.
And that is it.
And that will be about it.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, the party will then have a list and say that this is the people we produced from our election. That's what you are going to field for election 2024, correct?
Yes, at the end of the exercise, we would have gotten candidates who would have been elected by the constituency. Yes, they've been approved by the National Executive Committee to participate in this exercise. So whoever gets elected stands to be sponsored by the party to go into elections 2024 as parliamentary candidate. Beyond the conduct of these primaries, the party does other things. The party will do background search of all candidates, so we don't experience what the NDC went through with the Chikwesi.
You are afraid of a dual citizen on the...
Not that we are afraid, but we've experienced, we had issue with one of our former MPs, may he so rest in peace, Honorable Adam Sakande. And even then, we are taking steps to ensure that we do proper background checks of all our candidates. We will not sponsor a candidate who will give us the deal Mr. Kwesi has given to the NDC.
No, the deal you took Mr. Kwesi through, rather, maybe. That would be more appropriate.
Well, if his documents were as required by the law, I don't think we would have been going through this.
So before the election, you did vetting, right?
Yes.
Were some people disqualified?
At the vetting, the vetting reports indicated that all those who applied were recommended to the National Executive Committee to participate in the primaries. Even in one instance, Akwetia, where one Castro Dankwa could not participate in the vetting, an arrangement was made for him to go through the vetting.
I think the same thing happened to Ken Crunchy in Okaikwe North. Yeah. He was in court on the day of the vetting, so he did not take part, but we were told that the following day he was allowed to.
Because we are giving days within which the vetting was supposed to take place. And so for the recommendation that the National Executive Committee received, all those who participated have been cleared to be in this contest.
So there are no challenges, no any court action, anybody filed any court action against any of the constituencies?
Not that I'm aware of.
You have not received any such. Yes. What about Ododo Diodio? What's happening there?
Ododo Diodio, the two candidates who filed are all going to be in the contest.
You've cleared both of them?
Yes.
Even though there were initial challenges that were raised?
As we speak, the party has cleared all of them to be in the contest.
So this weekend, Ododo Diodio will be part of the election.
Yes.
The 9 constituencies that you said are on hold, what is the idea behind that? What's the problem?
Well, so these are 6 constituencies rather. At the close of nomination, the National Executive Committee received reports from the regional party. Our nomination forms will have recommendations from the party at the constituency level and at the regional level. And so at the national executive level, it was submitted that for these constituencies, we need to put them on hold and do some engagement. If you realize, when we opened the nomination, we said that the conduct of the exercise will be on case-by-case basis. Said that anybody who had put in application, the party leadership will find a means of engaging with you. And that is why at the close of nomination in August, we are now going to have our primaries conducted in 2nd of December.
So these 6 is not because you are trying to do some negotiations?
It's all part of the exercise. It's a political party. We want to win with candidates. We want to win with candidates who meet the constitutional requirements. If you look at the 1992 Constitution, Article 94, we talked about the qualification criteria of a member of parliament. The party wants to meet all those ones. We want to be assured that you are a true party member who appreciates the party's philosophy and ideology, and that you can really at all times defend the party's interests. And so we will have to do all these, do background checks of candidates before we open up.
What are these constituencies? You have some of them?
Okay, so Fomena is one. We had beyond Fomena, we had Ketu North, Akachi North, Jomoro constituency, Fomena, Boko Central, and Yero Krobo. But as we speak, the regional party in Eastern Region engaged with the constituency in Yelo Krobo. The action that took place is yet to be reported to the National Executive Committee of the party. When the party gives directives with respect to the conduct of parliamentary elections, the final decision-making body is the National Executive Committee. That's why the General Secretary will come to the public and say that this is the directive from the NEC or directive from the National Chairman, and it is communicated accordingly to the party rank and file. Okay,
so there are different issues for different constituencies.
There are different issues for different.
It's not like a single issue.
No.
What about Fomena? What are you going to do with Fomena? Because you have someone there as MP who is working with you in Parliament. How are you planning to treat the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament's constituency?
Well, Fomena is among those constituencies that has been put on hold. The details of it, as a political party, we have our internal arrangement. And mind you, when you are going to war, it's not every arsenal you lay bare to the public. And so, for our arrangement in Fomena, we speak now, we are not conducting elections yet. When we get to that bridge, I think the party will cross.
Would you let the independent candidates go unopposed?
The National Executive Committee has not taken any set decision on Fomena. The decision we have as we speak is that it is on hold.
What did the lawyer say to you about the possibility of letting him go on the NPP's ticket and what that would mean to him being a member of Parliament, whether he would lose his seat or not? Because you, when you were majority in the chamber last Parliament, you expelled him because he ran independent.
Well, that was then. That was the previous Parliament. And this is the 8th Parliament, isn't it? So that's about it. But I'm not aware of any conversation between the party and its lawyers. The National Executive Committee has not given any set directive apart from the constituency primaries being on hold.
Fomena is going to be a difficult one for you, isn't it? It looks like it. It was for you in 2020, and it looks set to be trouble for you again. You're not sure how to deal with it. You are walking on eggshells.
Well, I disagree with you. The party is looking at going into the 2024 elections to win a majority of the 38,622 polling stations, some of which are in Fomena constituency. And so, as I said, you go to war with the army you have, but it's not all that you disclose until you get there.
Well, you're watching Face to Face on Citi TV. My guest is Evans Nimako. He's Director of Elections of the New Patriotic Party. We're talking about the upcoming primaries of the party this weekend, where to be electing candidates to represent it in constituencies where the party does not have sitting MPs. Meanwhile, there's a plan for elections in constituencies where there are sitting MPs who are NPP. How is the party planning that particular one? And of course, the issue of the running mate is a big one. We'll talk about that as well. Please stay with us.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. Citi TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on Citi TV. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest, Evans Nimako, Director of Research and Elections of the New Patriotic Party. Before we talk about the constituencies where you have sitting MPs, let me just go back to two constituencies we've talked about already, Ododo-Diodio and Fomena. In Ododo-Diodio, you may end up fielding an NDC person as your candidate. That's one of the issues that have come up before these elections. Are you sure it's something you want to do?
Well, I don't know the kind of information you have. But once the party's National Executive Committee has adopted the recommendation from the Elections Committee, we are ready to go ahead. And as I mentioned
even though there are fears that...
As I mentioned to you, beyond the primaries that will take place on December 2, 2023, the party will continue to conduct background search on all candidates. So, yes.
But why not conduct the background search before the election? Why wait till
until the General Secretary writes to the Electoral Commission of candidate that the party is supporting in the upcoming elections? You are a party's candidate. Anything can happen. And so there are things the party will do post the primaries.
But if you're holding up on for in 6 constituencies because of challenges you want to deal with, why don't you categorize Ododo-Diodio as same and say that because of the issues coming up, we'll deal with that?
Well, I don't know the interest.
The interest is that the accusation is that
others have. But Ododo-Diodio, at the close of the nomination, was not one of the constituencies the National Executive Committee deemed it right to put on hold. And as we speak, the vetting committee took the 2 candidates through the requirements, and they were recommended to be part of the exercise.
So you do not have any problem there, you are sure?
As we speak, the recommendation from the vetting committee has been adopted by the National Executive Committee.
And you do not preempt or foresee or anticipate any challenges after the election based on the issues that have come up?
We are going by the directive given.
You are the Director of Research. I'm sure you've done research in this constituency.
And I'm saying that even after the 2nd of December primaries, whoever becomes the candidate for these constituencies, the party reserves the right to conduct whatever background information we have to conduct.
And you can change that person.
You are submitted to the EC. Yes, you would have been the elected parliamentary candidate by the party because the constituency conference would have endorsed you. But the party still reserves the right to give you the recommendation to EC or otherwise.
What about Fomena? The protests by the constituents there, NPP members who were saying that let the election be held, treat this guy as an enemy, quote and unquote. What is the position of the party on that? You are disregarding the party's call locally?
The directive that the National Executive Committee gave, and as you keep on saying, Fomena constituency, is that it is on hold and it's not going to be part of December 2 primaries. When we are done with this and the National Executive Committee appraises itself with development in the constituency, appropriate directions will be given.
All right. Let's talk about constituencies that are not orphan, constituencies with parents, all parents alive. What is the plan there? Walk us through.
Well, thank you. The constituencies that we have sitting members of parliament, totaling 137. The party will open nomination for primaries on December 20, and within a month, we will conduct the primaries in these constituencies. So it is expected that by January 20, 2024, all things being equal, there will be primaries in these constituencies as well.
Okay, and the plan is that people would pick nomination forms starting from December 20.
Yes.
Everybody is qualified to do that. Are there MPs you are protecting?
No, we are not. The party is not protecting anybody. The party is neither imposing anybody on these constituencies. So when the National Executive Committee gave the directive that we open nominations in constituencies where we have certain members of parliament, there was never any mention of constituencies that were being put on hold. The party said open nominations in constituencies where we have certain members of parliament. And it's exactly what the office of the General Secretary is planning to do.
Nilante Van der Poel is an NDC member of parliament for Ododo Diodio. He has decided not to run for office again. One of the reasons he spoke about when he left was to the extent that our system does not deliberately protect MPs with experience and people who have served for long. So it goes to the issue about strengthening our democracy. Of course, democracy says go to elections all the time. But there's also another school of thought that thinks that you should protect some people because they help with the institution of parliament. What does the NPP think about that, where you could protect some people and prevent them from being contested? Or even if they are going to be contested, the stakes or the competition should not be just an ordinary competition where someone who has more money would just come and win. That you should have some considerations before letting these people be contested. What does the party think about that?
I'm surprised Honorable Nilante Van der Poel will run away from contest at this stage that he feels he has become so experienced in the House. He got there through contest. So I have difficulty appreciating his opinion for now. For us as New Patriotic Party, if we look at our constitution, we say that we will either elect or select candidates for these constituencies. And it is always broader consultation with the party at the constituency level. We are aware of the effects of imposition. And so it is not part of arrangement that the party has put in place for these constituencies. We've opened, we are going to open up, and all those who deem themselves fit to meet the criteria for becoming a member of parliament are so invited to do so. However, the party will not rubber stamp everybody who put in the application. That I will assure you. That we will not depart from the details of our constitution. We will not depart from the 1992 constitution. Neither are we going to do same. So from the guidelines that will come out. We make sure that before you are made to go through the contest, you meet the set criteria. As I said, we don't want any surprises.
I see. So you are going to open it up and you're going to be deliberate about your vetting, but you're not going to prevent anybody from contesting anybody.
We are not going to prevent, but we are going to be deliberate that you must meet the criteria in these parent documents.
There's a view that you should protect people like Osechi Mensah, so that has not come up at any of the discussions.
As we speak, we've not opened nomination. You can't even be sure whether when nomination is open, he will be ready to put himself into a contest.
Which is actually what I was going to go to next. Do you have a list of MPs who have said to you that for us, we are not contesting again?
We don't have any.
We don't have that. Even though we have heard that people like, for instance, Joe Osewosu of Bekwai will not run again. How do you handle situations like that? Do you treat it as an orphan constituency, or you wait on January 20 and see who and who would file and deal with it? And do you try to speak to these people to tell them that, listen, you are very important for us, we want you to stay and run? Because Bekwai is your stronghold. So getting him through the primaries should be your preoccupation, and then he wins the elections for you. What's your position as a party on?
Okay, so if I'm getting you right, the opinion you're expressing will mean to impose candidates.
Yes.
And so, as I mentioned earlier,
possibly,
as we speak, the party does not have any list of certain members of parliament who intend not to contest primaries and possibly the 2024 elections. We will wait till we get to that stage. Let us open our nomination for these constituencies. Let's see the outcome, and then we can take the conversation on.
So you are not going to have them do elections now because they say they are not running. You would have to wait and do it in January.
We have to wait, open nomination, and see whether
they will apply
or otherwise.
And if they say they will not, goodbye to them.
Well, in the case of Neil and Divanapa, I heard the NDC's Deputy General Secretary that they put together a committee to investigate and possibly find a means of getting him into the contest. That's the NDC. For us as New Patriotic Party, we are not imposing. When the time is due for us to open nomination, we will do so.
Okay, no problems there at all. Let's move on to some other things that you have to deal with. You have a flag bearer now. You need a running mate. What is the involvement of the party in the choice of a running mate? Is it the sole prerogative of the candidate? He will just come to you and say, this is the person I'm running with, and that's it? Or it has to be consultation? How do you work those things out? Because it's become a vexed issue in town now. Many people lobbying for that. I've even heard that the Venerable Evans Nimako is also interested in being running mate.
Wow.
I've heard.
Well, we'll leave that for now.
But it will not be bad. Which region are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
Yeah, but which part of the country?
Well, I cut across a lot of regions.
So, then you are a very suitable candidate.
So let's put that on hold.
Yes.
So yes, the party went through a very broader consultation to elect our presidential candidate. A committee chaired by the former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Nimako, did the yeoman job, and the party across the country, almost 200,000 delegates participated in the exercise that elected for us our presidential candidate, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The party constitution is clear on the selection of the running mate to the presidential candidate. That it will have to be the presidential candidate doing the selection and then submit the nominee to the National Council of the party. And then the National Council will consider the nomination. And so, looking at what is happening, I'm not surprised because I saw 2008 when the party had in 2007 elected His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the party's presidential candidate. So let's see how it plays out. It is for the presidential candidate to come out to the nominee and for the National Council, which is the second highest decision-making body of the party, to endorse the nominee.
So the parties can reject the nominee?
Yes.
I have brought my guy. I said, this is the person I want to run with. You're saying that no?
That is why it says that the presidential candidate will select the nominee, but in consultation with the National Council, an approval will be given.
So is the consultation supposed to happen before he announces his list or after?
Oh, I mean, there's no timeline. But definitely, the presidential candidate will have to select his running mates. And we know the task ahead. And
show the candidate to the party at the National Council and say that this is whom I've chosen.
Yes.
The council can then decide that, we accept or we do not accept. And if we
but if you look at the history, there hasn't been any such occasion where the presidential candidate nominee has been rejected by the party. And so that would have also indicate to you that before the presidential candidate get to that stage, we would have done the necessary consultation with key stakeholders in the party. Okay,
so this is it. It's a discussion, it's a negotiation of a sort, and then you have a candidate. Do you have a timeline by which you're supposed to choose a running mate for your flag bearer?
There's no timeline. But by the time the EC open the nomination period for filing and closure, the candidate must have chosen.
There has to be a running mate to be on the campaign with that particular person. Yeah. All right. And by the party itself, what's your plan? Do you want it early? John Mahama has said he will do his own next year. What are you going to be motivated by that, guided by that?
The New Patriotic Party is very focused. We elected our presidential candidate in November 4. we are just into a month, isn't it? And the presidential candidate is consulting party rank and file. I will not do comparison, but I think Mr. Mahama was elected somewhere in May 2023, and we are in November as we speak. I don't know what is making it too difficult for him to come out with his running mate. And if he's telling us it's going to be next year, for me, it tells me how indecisive he is.
Really?
Yeah, because you were elected in May. And you are required to have a running mate. And it's taking you all these months to select a running mate. I've heard stories, some coming from him, that his running mate is going to be a male. That tells you that...
I've seen publications. I can't vouch for them, but yeah, I've heard him explain the competence of the person he's going to... I don't remember...
So he's throwing out Professor Nana J. Mensah, isn't it?
No, I don't know.
So that is the NDC and Mr. John Mahama, His Excellency.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
I said the New Patriotic Party...
The NDC has a history of that. Males chose Martin Amido in 2000, changed and chose Mumuni in 2004, changed and chose John Mahama in 2008. That's 3
So
times.
Mr. Mahama is changing.
Mahama chose Mr. Arthur. Mr. Arthur has passed, chose J. Nana Opoku Ajiman.
Okay.
And so
maybe
it's a NDC thing.
It's
maybe.
going to be Arthur Force and Doctor. Oh, you didn't know. Still going to Central.
Why?
I said maybe.
But why are you mentioning Arthur Force?
Well, I mean, if you are throwing out Nana, then so you are discarding Central.
But why? What's wrong with Central?
Well, it is for Mr. Mahama to take that decision. But
so
as I said,
yours will come from Ashanti then?
The New Patriotic Party is so focused. We have in mind timelines. We have in mind the need to do broader consultation.
Mr. Nimako, you said that Mahama has to choose someone from Central. You two have to
No,
choose someone from Ashanti.
I've not said that. I'm saying that he's discarding Central region now. Because it's been published that his running mate is not going to be a female, but a male. And I'm saying that communicates to me that he's ending that relationship with Central region to look at other regions. It's all part of Ghana.
Which region are you looking at?
Discretion.
Which region are you looking at as NPP?
For New Patriotic
Yes,
Party.
there's a lot of talk about you should have a candidate from Ashanti, otherwise you lose Ashanti votes because you have a flag bearer who is from the north.
Well,
does it matter what region you get a candidate from running mate?
I think that decision as to who becomes the running mate of the presidential candidate is the decision of the presidential candidate and the party. And nobody is imposing anybody on the presidential candidate.
You are the director of research. Have you done any research to see whether choosing Ashanti is good for you or bad for you?
And we have our internal engagement, and that is not to be laid out yet.
Because there's a concern that if you don't go to Ashanti, and there are a lot of people lobbying from Ashanti. We've seen Oseche Mensah-Bosu's name in there. We've seen Dr. Matthew Opoku.
So when we are going to elections, there will be a lot of polls, research here and there. And I've seen elections in other countries. I was in Kenya. Prior to the elections, every poll was Mr. Raila Odinga was winning. On election day, it was Ruto. In Nigeria, if you were in Abuja, it was Peter Obi all through. At the end of the exercise, it was Tinubu. So research polls will come. The final decision will be taken by, in the case of Ghana, the almost 18 million people who will turn out to vote. And so I take polls and researches as pieces of advice to the party. But at the end of the day, party key stakeholders will take the decision that will kneel to the interest of the party.
The people lobbying and jostling, they will not cause you any problems?
And I mentioned to you whether you experienced 208.
Yes, I did.
And so I'm not surprised about it. what is happening now.
This is Face to Face on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest, Nimako, Director of Elections of the New Patriotic Party. When we come back, he's talking about 80 million or so people who will be voting in 2024. What message is the NPP going to the elections with? It says it's going to break the 8, but it appears the party itself is breaking up, isn't it? Because Alan Chemanti and his butterfly have left the party with a number of people who have been fired, even though the party says they forfeited their membership by announcing their support in Alan. Is Alan going to be a problem for the NPP? I'll ask him. He's in charge of research. What's their research looking like?
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on Citi TV. Talking to Nimako, Director of Elections and Research of the NPP. You're going into election in 2024. It seems you are limping, are you not? The elephant is limping with Alan's exit and all the brouhaha around that.
Okay, so when you said the New Patriotic Party is limping, I was going to be very harsh on that. But having said, because Mr. Alan Chemanti has left, I'm going to give you a new perspective about that.
He's a strong leg, so now that that leg has been removed.
Well, I mean, he a member of the party from its inception. So in that case, I would disagree with you. He was part of the Young Executive Forum. And so, yes. But he's been into elections in this party, especially at the presidential level, not at any other level but the presidential. You won't see him in party contest, either national officer position or member of parliament position and all that. So, yes, I wish he had not left. But post the Special Electoral College, when the Presidential Elections Committee was engaging with him and his agents, he put on us his resignation from the party. And so that's about it. He intends to contest the elections 2024 as a presidential candidate on his movement. As we speak, he is not a candidate yet, because it's possible he will change his mind
and come back.
Yeah, that will be his decision. And so for me, it has happened. And this is not the first time it has happened. And so the New Patriotic Party is certain that we are going to these elections with all these challenges. So we are mindful of that. But we are not limping.
A number of your party supporters are leaving. I've seen letters of forfeiture going to people in Aswasi and other areas, aside the top four people at the national level.
The National Council,
you're doing a weeding out exercise.
The National Executive Committee took the decision that the party's constitution must be applied to the letter. Where the party has a candidate and any individual party member decides to openly support another candidate, it is clear in the constitution and it's applied. So there's no problem about that. People wished they had not taken on that route, but they've done so in their own volition. You can't stop them. I'm saying that I wished Mr. Chemanti had not left and had stayed. But you see, we've seen elections and we saw special electoral college conducted in this party. And so people must begin to ask themselves whether the kind of influence they have then still applies now. I will leave that. I'm saying that we are mindful of the numbers.
You are saying that he's no more as relevant.
I'm saying that we've conducted elections and we did the special electoral college and we saw
his smoothness
the
level
vote that our candidates got in all these areas that the voting took place. All put together. He was still part of the 5 that were constitutional-wise supposed to be in the main elections. And he decided to opt out. And I'm saying that you need to look at that number and look at the influence of those aspirants.
The way you are sacking everybody, are you sure that...
The party is not sacking. New Patriotic Party is a disciplined party. And if I would take you to 2014, 2015, where the party had challenges with the national chairman, the general secretary, and
vice
chairperson, the party leadership took a decision. And so the New Patriotic Party at all times will exhibit that discipline it requires. And so if people in their own arrangement decide to leave the party, can you do anything to them?
Because you're an association and you are looking for more members,
so there were people who were also supporting Mr. Alan Chamatin, but they didn't live with him. Okay? And they are in the party. Some are members of parliament, and they go about their duty as members of parliament, defending the interests of the party. So that is about it. But I'm saying that the leadership of the party is mindful of the number of registered voters who are going to go into the polls in December 2024.
You agree, though, that your problem in 2024 would be big because aside fighting John Mahama and the NDC, you also have to fight one of your own who is now a rebel going against you. The election is going to be tougher for you. This breaking the 8th agenda sounds like it's going to be a really difficult one.
Yes.
We have not even mentioned what is happening with the economy.
Not sounding like too confident and not being oblivious of the fact of development. I must let you know that for Mr. Mahama, he once enjoyed that kind of fiduciary relationship with the good people of Ghana, and he destroyed it. That relationship, he did. He as a certain president, brought or initiated the divorce that saw him losing over 1 million votes in 2016 elections. Okay? In 2020, he lost again. So we've been in an election with him. In fact, there was 2012 elections. And I'm saying that, yes, I'm happy we are going to go into 2024 with him. Okay? He is the candidate for the NDC. And we'll beat him in elections 2024. For the others, please, you can't be sure yet. So let's leave that. I can assure you that for Mr. Mahama, having been president, enjoyed that kind of relationship with the good people of Ghana, destroying it by himself, I don't think the people are ready to go back for him.
So you are not scared about your mama?
But Mr. Mahama will be beaten by His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in elections 2024.
And you will not be affected by the votes that will be harvested by Alan Kojo Tramantin, which votes may be likely coming from the Ashanti region, your stronghold?
You can't be sure.
You can't be sure?
You can't be sure with the question you are asking.
No, I'm just saying.
You don't know the numbers.
No, I'm just saying that he's from Ashanti region.
The party knows the numbers, and the party is working towards. That's how come you saw how smooth the elections of the presidential candidate was, and all the aspirants before even the D-Day met and gave their word, and that's the Alisa Accord, that yes, we respect the party's decision, and that's exactly what happened. You saw the declaration, and we are going to have same in the conduct of this Ofan constituency primaries, and we do same in the sitting members of parliament elections. Yeah. And I can tell you that by the time we put together our parliamentary candidates, with the support they will give to the presidential candidate across constituencies, across polling stations and electoral area, areas in the country, the New Patriotic Party will emerge victorious in elections 2024. Evans
Nimako, Director, Elections and Research, NPP. Thank you so much for joining us on Face to Face, and wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me.
And my name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. You've been watching Citi TV. Stay with us. It's your world.